Welcome to scenario one. As I said, this is for budgets up to $1,000 per month. Doesn't mean you can't use it for budgets higher than that. I would recommend starting if you can scale spend beyond $1,000 a month using these campaign types and campaign mix, then by all means carry on until you start seeing it plateau, and then you can look at complicating things further or adding new campaign types. I'll leave that decision with you. However, feel free to ask me in the Discord or in the community chat if you have any questions about it. Scenario one, we want to keep it super simple again. And throughout all of these scenarios, we'll only be focusing on that consideration and conversion part of the funnel. But for this, we really want to lean on PMAX to let do the heavy lifting. But it's important, you've also got a brand search campaign to capture any demand that may come in. Now, you may not have any brand traffic. You may be a completely new brand right now, but that's okay. Stick a brand campaign in there anyway. Even if it doesn't spend, it doesn't matter. But if someone does search your brand name, we need your ad to be there, number one, right at the top of the page. Even if there are no other competitors bidding on it, your SEO may be poor. There may be a Wikipedia page ranking ahead you. I don't know. That's why it's super important to have it at the top, no matter what. Regardless, you're going to pay 10 cents, 20 cents, maybe maximum 50 cents for the click. It's totally worth it. Make sure you have it running, even if it's not spending. So search campaign focusing solely on brand terms. This will be the barometer for brand awareness, and we will also ensure anyone who is looking for your brand and highly likely to convert does not get lost. So super important. The second campaign type we want to look at is PMAX, Performance Max. So PMAX allows you to cover all campaign types. So it's important we keep this campaign focused on the feed and dynamic remarketing only to begin with. Now, if you weren't ecom focused, then maybe we'd be looking at full build straight away. But for ecom, we really want to keep it simple and just have our feed and dynamic remarketing to begin with. And like I said in the intro video, Performance Max over attributes, and Google really wants it to do well. So it's really the best campaign mix or the best campaign type at the moment to begin with. If you're going to get conversions from anywhere, PMAX should be able to get those conversions for you the quickest, with Google helping in the background, hopefully. The campaign or the account structure is really very simple and straightforward. It looks like this. We've got our Google Ads account at the top. That's a total account. And then underneath that, we've got our two campaigns. So our brand search campaign, like I said, this is brand keywords only. So for 84 Academy, it's 84 Academy, 84 Academy courses, 84.academy, 84 Academy maybe even spelt wrong, and maybe it's 84 Academy spelt out in words as well. Whatever it may be, but it's all of those brand terms that you own, and they all must be exact match. And we want this campaign directing to your homepage or just a generic landing page. That way they can navigate to wherever they want. Because it's just a generic brand search, we don't know where they want to end up. So it's good to put them in a page where they can navigate to everywhere very easily from there. And again, we'll be using RSAs. So if you haven't already, go back and watch the how to set up a search campaign in level 2. Make sure you add all your extensions, site links, etc. that will aid in the sort of navigating journey for the user. And secondly, we want to have our Performance Max campaign. Now for this, I suggest you split your products, or you split your asset groups by product type to begin with. You may want to split it by most profitable or best performing or highest margin. It's up to you. Feel free to play around with it a little bit. I tend to find splitting it by product category works best for me because it's easier to kind of report on things and just pull reports easy and see where the spend is going. So that's why I do that. There are some accounts I work on where we do just have it split by best sellers and then catch all underneath. I'll leave it up to you. You can play around with it a little bit, but it's important that we want to make sure that this is also just a feed only until all of your products are proven and delivering revenue. After that, we can then look at maybe using full build campaigns or integrating standard shopping alongside it. But for now, feed only, product split by product category, by asset group. And again, we want to be looking at optimizing the feed where possible. A lot of people miss this. They think, oh, I've set up my feed and that's it. It's not. A big part of the optimization for Performance Max standard shopping is optimizing your feed. So it's looking at your titles, descriptions, even your product images, how they are looking against your competitors. So if your competitors are using plain white backgrounds, it's often good to look at lifestyle and vice versa. Also, your pricing is very important. If you're being undercut by competitors, it would be very, very hard to compete and to win those clicks. So these are all things that we need to focus on. There's more on optimizations in level 2. But if you've got any more questions or you want more content on that, please let me know and I can get that recorded for you. So alongside structure, it's also super important that we're using the correct bid strategies and spend the appropriate amount of budget on each campaign type. So again, same split, Google Ads account at top and the 2 campaigns here. Now, I'm recommending starting small on brand search, as you will be a small sort of store, maybe not with a huge amount of brand traffic. Don't worry, just go ahead and put 5% of your budget towards that. If it doesn't spend, no problem. Definitely want to be using a manual CPC here. You want to keep that super tight. You won't have many competitors, hopefully none, bidding on you at this kind of stage. So you can just go ahead, put a low bid in at like 50 cents or something. And that way you will make sure you show for all searches related to your brand. Again, generic brand messaging, including your brand name and things like that. For the Performance Max campaign, I recommend allocating sort of 90 to 95% of your budget here. If you've got no kind of inbound already, this is going to allow PMax to go out and spend some money on cold audiences and start filling up those remarketing audiences to be able to dynamically remarket those who have visited your site or shown an interest in your products. And again, here I recommend using smart bidding in some form or another. You want to split test stock versus lifestyle and look at general feed optimizations to make improvements here. That is the simplest, easiest way to structure a entry-level campaign, in my opinion, but there are alternatives that might give you a little bit of more control. Or if you've tried Performance Max in the past and had no luck whatsoever, then you could potentially look at using this account structure instead. So it's similar. We're in the bottom of the funnel still, but it could give you more clarity over Performance Max because Performance Max is it's a bit hard to understand where the success is coming from or where it's even spending sometimes. But again, we want to start with a brand search campaign. We definitely want to have that always running. And this time, we want to look at either a standard shopping campaign. So the shopping will be used to deliver qualified cold audience directly to your site alongside a display campaign, which again, we'll be wanting to run and focus the display campaign on using dynamic remarketing. So the standard shopping and display is very similar to the running a Performance Max feed only, except we've split it out to try and give us a little bit more control over where the spend is going, for example. That looks like this from an account structure. It's pretty similar, except we've got the 3 campaign types instead of the 2. And again, everything the same with the brand search campaigns, brand keywords only. And we're going to go for a similar structure with the standard shopping in terms of we want to split by products or whatever it is you would be doing in your Performance Max feed only. We want to go with exactly the same split there. Likewise, again, the feed optimization is really crucial. Lastly, display. With this is purely here just to look at dynamic remarketing. So here we want to use remarketing audiences only. Absolutely no cold audiences should be put in here. And this is where it gives us a little bit more control compared to PMax, that we can just put in our remarketing audiences into our display. Therefore, it will only deliver to those who have been onto our site already. Just ensure your dynamic remarketing tags are putting through and ID parameters are in place, etc., etc. And in terms of budget split, it looks very similar as well. So roughly 5 to 10% on your brand search. The rest split across standard shopping and display. I would lean on putting more emphasis on standard shopping than display, because obviously display will just be remarketing. A lot of budget gets wasted on remarketing. If someone's come to your website and they don't want to buy your product, smashing them in the face 100 more times with a display ad is not going to make them buy your product all of a sudden. So you've got to find the right balance there in terms of remarketing. So it could be 30%, it could be less. You want to play around with that based on results. So again, for brand search, manual CPC. For standard shopping, we also want to use manual CPC. And the goal here is kind of old school marketing. So we're very used to using smart bidding all the time. And yes, we'll pay more. I'll pay 100% extra for this cost per click because I know he's going to convert. However, old school marketing or old school Google Ads was get as many people to site as possible and then remarket them and get them back. Get them to show an interest and then get them back on site to convert later down the line. This is a bit more of that approach. So it's standard shopping, it's manual CPC. You want to get those CPCs low and as low as possible while spending the budget as much as possible. And one of the things having a manual CPC allows you to do is it allows you to play with the budgets much more. So if you start off with only $20 a day on a standard shopping on a manual CPC of 50 cents a click, if you're spending in full, you can double that budget very easily. If you're using PMax, feed only and smart bidding, if you double that budget, you're going to cause some problems with the account. So if you're using feed only PMax, budgets need to be increased 10% at a time. If you're using standard shopping on manual, you can smash those budgets up 50%. If you want in a day, just get as many people to site. And display, we want to be using some form of smart bidding, as we want to only get those who are really willing and look like they're going to convert back onto the site. And we don't really want to mess about with bringing too much traffic back to the site for no reason. Again, all of these rely on a lot of feed optimization, a lot of tracking of the feed, and a lot of tracking of competitors. So that'll be a big part in making these campaigns successful. That brings it to an end for scenario one. It's pretty straightforward. It's easy to go ahead and just get these set up straight off the bat, really. So good luck with it. If you've got any more questions or your budget's in between, or you're not sure how to optimize your feeds properly, or if you're missing anything in terms of structuring the campaigns themselves, go to level 2, check out those videos, tutorials on how to set up the campaigns. If you still have questions after that, come back to Discord or the community and ask me directly, and I'll be able to help you out.